Today we're going to take a look at how you can manage a whole gaming YouTube channel with an iPad alone. The first thing we want to do is we're going to go to our settings app. In our settings app we would go to our control center. We will customize controls, and you can see I have screen recording, and screen recording you can find in more controls. You just have to add it into the stuff you include. After you've added it to your control center, you will see it if you scroll from the top right of your iPad screen, just like that. Now if we long click, you can also see that you can make your microphone on. If you don't turn your microphone on, you will not hear yourself talking, you will only hear the sound coming out of the iPad. The next thing you want to do is you want to have an app for video editing, and I would also recommend having some kind of a vector art in order to make your channel art and to make your thumbnails. You also have apps for that. I'm using Affinity Designer for that, and for the video editing I'm using LumaFusion. The next thing you want to do is open your app. In my case it's PUBG Mobile. Let's close that. And then you can start a match. You can add your friends, start a match. I would recommend starting the recording once you're in the lobby or on the plane, because as it happens, there used to be bugs related to that if you are starting the recording before or after, you will have problems and the audio sometimes just is not existent, the audio is not there. Start recording once you're either on the plane or in the lobby. I would also recommend to not do something like this in the middle of the game. If you will try to use the control center while recording, just in order to see if it's recording or not, and sometimes you're losing the audio. So you need to remember to start the recording and do not look at the recording while it's running and while you are in the game, because you will destroy the recording. It doesn't happen to me usually when I'm in the iPad just browsing. It mostly happens when you're in a game and you're trying to take a look at the control center. The next thing we will do is we will open LumaFusion. Now I will start a new project. I will not show you an entire session of editing, but what's important to remember is that iPad has a screen ratio of 4:3, and YouTube videos are 16:9, which means the aspect ratio is not fitting. So I'll just take an example video that I just recorded. That's the video, I put it here. This is the timeline. As you will see, we have two black lines on the sides. Now, in order to solve this problem, you have several ways of doing that. The one which I saw several YouTubers do is you just go here, you change the fit mode and you just tell it to fill, but then you're losing some screen. You can tell it to stretch on the other hand. I've seen some YouTubers do that. What you can do, move it to the side, then you have this black part on the side where you can put your channel art. This, so I can put this on top, and now as you can see, the screen is not empty. We have this screen and we have the channel art with my website and my Instagram and a logo. And you can make really cool stuff with that. For example, I also have a moving background. So when you put it there on the side, it's also moving. It's not static. You can play with those things and make some interesting stuff. Once you've finished creating your video, you can upload directly to YouTube. You just click here, you click movie, then you click on YouTube. I usually use H265, 44.1, and I put it on extreme quality. If you have a real video there, currently I'm just showing a picture, it will be around 32 megabits per second. After you finished working in LumaFusion, you also need to create some channel art. For thumbnails, for example, I'm using Affinity Designer. I already have here a template ready. So the first thing I will do is I will place an image. I usually take a snapshot from the video. So in this case I will just take something like this because it's just an example. I will put it in. I'm zooming out on the object that I want to show. Then I will move it down here. This can be deleted. Then I'm changing the text. iPad channel. We can remove those stuff. We can change colors. We can do whatever we want. Yellow, like usually it is. I can change this test. Move it around, and then you can just come here, export, save it to your photos, using your share, save to photos, and once it's saved to your photos, you can use it as a thumbnail in your video. So, if you go to YouTube Studio in Safari, you have a lot more options. It is much better. You can edit, you can do whatever you want here. The only thing I have a problem here is with the thumbnails. So, when clicking here, it does not bring, sometimes it does not bring this selection that you can select from your photos. So what I do, if it doesn't work here, I just do it through the YouTube Studio app. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Share it with your friends, write a comment down. If you want me to do some more content like this, just write it down in the comments, and thank you, and see you in the next one.